I called 2 kids rude for taking all the free samples at Costco, and their mom told me to F off. So last Saturday, I was doing my usual Costco run with my 2-year-old son Tyler in the cart. We were in the food section when I noticed a sample lady setting up near the frozen aisle. She had this tray of fresh apples and was carefully cutting them into little pieces with one of those special apple slicers. Tyler loves apples, so I wheeled our cart over and waited for her to finish. There were maybe 4 or 5 other people waiting too, all of us just standing there politely while she worked. The sample lady was taking her time making sure each piece was the same size. She had this whole system going where she'd cut the apple, arrange the pieces on little paper cups, and then set them on the table. We were all being patient because that's what normal people do at Costco samples. Finally, she finished cutting and placed the tray on the table. But before anyone could reach for one, these 2 boys came out of nowhere and just grabbed every single sample. I'm talking, they scooped them all up with both hands like they were collecting treasure. These kids were probably 7 or 8 years old, definitely old enough to know better. They just cleared the entire tray in like 2 seconds flat. Everyone standing there just froze. This lady next to me actually said out loud, "Did they just take all the samples?" Another guy said, "Are you kidding me right now?" Tyler was reaching his little hand out for an apple, and I had to tell him there weren't any left. The boys ran off with their hands full of samples, heading toward the back of the store. I was so annoyed, not just for me, but for my son who had been waiting so nicely, and for all the other people who were being polite and patient. So I followed the kids to see where they were going. They ran up to the shopping cart where their mom was loading cases of soda. I watched them dump all the apple samples into the cart like they'd just won the lottery. The mom didn't even look surprised, she just kept shopping like this was totally normal. That's when I walked up and said, "Excuse me, but that was really rude of your boys to take all the samples when other people were waiting." The mom slowly turned around and looked me up and down. Then she said, "They're free samples, lady. They can take whatever they want." I told her that's not how samples work. Everyone gets to try one. That's the whole point. She laughed right in my face and said, "Then the lady will cut more. What's your problem?" I explained that my 2-year-old had been waiting patiently and didn't get any because her kids grabbed them all. She looked at Tyler and my cart and then back at me. Then she said, and I quote, "F off, they're just apples. Stop being dramatic." I couldn't believe it. The kids were standing there eating the samples and smirking at me like they'd gotten away with something. I wanted to say more, but I didn't want to cause a scene in front of Tyler, so I just walked away shaking my head. When I got back to the sample area, there were still people standing around waiting. The sample lady had seen the whole thing happen. She looked at me and said, "I'm so sorry about that. Some people don't teach their kids any manners." Then she grabbed a fresh apple and cut it right there on the spot. She handed me the very first piece and said, "This one's for your little guy." Tyler was so happy. He grabbed that apple piece with both hands and started munching on it right away. The sample lady cut up enough for everyone who had been waiting, and we all finally got to try them. But I still can't get over that mom's attitude. Like her kids can just take everything because it's free. That's not how the world works.